Hi, so I thought I would do a video and talk about how I apply my adhesive to my dentures, but before I do that, I'm going to explain why I use the technique that I do. When I first started wearing dentures 15 years ago, I followed the package directions to the letter. So I think at the beginning I used regular Fixodent. I don't remember what the package directions on that were. And then, but it was when I was using that product that I started using the technique that I now use. If I had ever followed the directions on the other two types of Fixodent that I used, it would have been a lot of adhesive. So, because if you follow the directions on the Fixodent Precision Hold, which I used for quite a few years, you will put your adhesive in the whole trough and then on the far back, and then two thin lines on the top, and then on the bottom, you're covering the entire bottom denture with adhesive. They want you to basically fill this entire spot with adhesive. So when you put your dentures on, you get the ooze. That back line that they want you to put on, it oozes onto the soft palate. And on the bottom, there's just so much adhesive that it oozes. And that was my problem. I was following the package directions, and I was getting a lot of ooze, and I had a lot of adhesive left over when I took my dentures out. And then if you follow the directions on the Fixodent Ultra Max Hold, which is what I currently use, they tell you to put, so they say this is the actual size of the strip that they want you to put on your denture. And it's kind of funny because it says, apply adhesive in thin strips as shown. Those are not thin strips. These are thin strips. But this is not a thin strip. This is a little chunky strip of adhesive. And they want you to put it here and here, and then on the top, the middle part of the palate. So when you put it on, again, there's a spread and an ooze up, and the palate it's spreading, but not evenly over the palate. And then on the bottom, they want you to put two rather thick strips right there on either end. And then when you put your denture in, it would ooze. So I was venting one day to my husband about how I had this excessive amount of oozing and so much adhesive left in my mouth that the only thing that worked to remove it was to use salt water, and to just warm salt water and rinse and swish, and just for, like, I'd fill the entire cup with salt water, and it would take the entire cup of water and maybe more to remove that adhesive from my mouth, and it was very, very frustrating. My husband asked me, why didn't the package tell you to treat it like a glue? He looked at the package, he said, well, they should tell you to treat it like a glue. And I asked him, what did he mean? He works with projects like woodworking and models. So he told me that what they do for projects like that is that they take the glue, so they wash and dry the area that you want to put your glue on. You make sure it's clean and dry. Then you put the glue on and let it set and get tacky for a few minutes. Then you spread it evenly over the surface and give it a few minutes to dry before you adhere it to the other part. You make sure that the other part is dry, then you adhere the two parts together, hold them in place, and then wait a set amount of time before you use whatever it is that you glue together. So when he told me this, he suggested that I try that with my adhesive. So that's what I did. I applied the adhesive, following the package directions, spread it evenly over each denture. Well, put it on, let it dry, spread it, let it dry, dried my mouth, put it in. And I found that I got a much better, I could feel, like whenever I put my dentures in, I can feel how tight the hold is. And I felt it right from the beginning. And so I got a tighter hold. My adhesive mostly stays on my denture and not in my mouth, so removing my adhesive from my mouth is much easier, and I didn't have any oozing. So I've been using this technique probably for about 14 and a half years now. It was in the first year of using adhesive, and I started wearing dentures 15 years ago, so probably about 14 and a half years that I've been using this technique, and it works very well for me. So now I'm going to go ahead and set my camera up, and I'm going to show you how I apply my adhesive. I do follow the package directions. I avoid the immediate edges, and I wipe away any excess if there is any. Some days there are, some days there aren't. It really depends on the temperature outside. The warmer it is, the thinner the adhesive is. It's kind of melty. So sometimes I have more adhesive that's an excess if it's very warm out. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and set my camera up, and I'm going to show you how I apply my adhesive to my dentures. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply my adhesive to my dentures, loosely following, so this is the package directions, and I'm going to basically follow the directions a little bit less than it calls for. And there's my top, and there's my bottom. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this 3 minutes to set, and I will be right back, and I will finish up. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So now I'm going to spread my adhesive evenly over each denture. I use a silicone stir stick, but you can use either a Q-tip or your finger to spread the adhesive. There are people who use this technique and they use both of those things, and it's fine. Oh, I don't want, let me take my glasses off. So when I spread my adhesive over my dentures, I make sure to avoid the immediate edges, and I do not go all the way back here, because that's way too far to go back. If you do, you will have oozing in the back. Okay, so there is my top, and I moved about that much for the excess. It's a little warm today, so it's a little bit melty today. And on the bottoms, I do not go, I do not have hair. So I do not go all the way to the back here or there. I have long hair. If you have long hair, you want to be very careful because you do not want hair to get stuck on your denture. It is a pain to get out of your mouth. Speaking from experience. Okay, and that is the bottom. Now I'm going to go ahead and give that 3 minutes to dry. Alexa, set timer for 3 minutes. And this is how much adhesive I removed from the bottom. So that's how much I removed from the top and bottom. It wasn't really a lot. So anyway, I'm going to let that set and I will be right back. Hi, so I'm back. Now my adhesive has dried for 3 minutes. So now I'm going to dry my mouth and I'm going to put my dentures in. I've left it 2 steps out. When I put my adhesive on my dentures, I start with the denture that I put in first. For me, that's my top denture. So when I put the adhesive on, so for me, that's my top. So I put my adhesive on and then the top first and then the bottom, and then when I spread it, I do the same thing. I spread the top first and then the bottom. So now I'm going to go ahead and dry my mouth and when I dry my bottom, I dry under my tongue. A lot of saliva gets under there. And then also my gums and in between my lip. Now I hold my mouth, just a little bit of pressure between my top and my bottom. And I'm not going to eat or drink anything for an hour. A lot of people wait anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes. Some people wait 45 to 60 minutes. I wait 60 minutes before I eat or drink anything because I want to give that adhesive an opportunity to dry and set. So that's how I apply my adhesive. I hope this helps someone, and I will talk to you later. Bye.